Hello, Algebra 2 for Mr. Fry. This is February 19th, Friday. I believe we did some of this in class. We did do some of this in class, indeed. But I believe this isn't due until maybe Monday or maybe at the end of the day. I'm not sure on the due date on this, but this should help you get it done for whenever it is to be done. And some of you have extended time, so that would be, just another day. So here we go. Solving quadratic equations by graphing using a table. Create a table and graph that show each zero to solve the quadratic equation. You could plug this into Desmos, and Desmos is the graphing calculator. All of you that are at home, Desmos. Just plug in the problem. Here's one of the problems I'm going to talk about in a moment. Use this in order to go ahead and graph that for you. Shrink it down so you can see your graph, and you can see the zeros. The zeros are simply the x-intercepts. So where it intercepts the x-axis, that's where y equals 0. So I plugged that in and I created my own, and these are by ones here, and I used this information. You could get this on your calculator also, so you could pause this and take this down and see if you can get it too. You could also look at on Desmos where where x is and in relation to these, in between these zeros. Okay, so look for the whole number coordinates in between your zeros when you're making this. And then when you have this t-chart ready, then you can go back and you can make your graph. Okay, you can see my zeros here at -7 and at -1. And then I just kind of eyeballed where these other points in between would go, and then connected them and drew my graph. It's kind of ugly, but it works. So the zeros are -7 and -1. -7 and -1. That's where the x or zeros, also aka in a quadratic, are going to be your x-intercepts. And so that would be -7, 0 and -1, 0 are the x-intercepts. Try that for number 2. Plug it into your Desmos or your graphing calculator and get that information. I want to do 3 with you. Plugging this in, the zeros immediately you see are -5 and 5. We don't have to factor this out. We're just doing graphing and t-charts. So this t-chart extends all the way over here. By looking at Desmos, I looked at every point in between my zeros that make that U-shaped form, and these are the coordinates that I get. I use those coordinates to make this, and I did mine by 5 because it's such a big graph. I did it by 5, and you could see my negatives here and how deep this goes, all the way down to -25, my y-intercept. But your x-intercepts are those zeros, so -5 and 5. Also, if I want to name the coordinates, -5, 0 and 5, 0. Try 4 on your own using Desmos or your graphing calculator. Number 5, the zeros of a quadratic equation are located where on the graph? At the x-intercepts. And I went ahead and did number 6 too, just to help you guys out. We can find the zeros of a function using a table of values by looking for what in the table, wherever y equals 0. So notice wherever y equals 0, that's my 0, that's my x-intercept. Y0, that's my x-intercept, that's my 0. Okay, that's what they mean by zeros, where y equals 0. Okay, good luck and have a good weekend.